bố trái mà ngô làm để đó cái cá này ở lại cái tàn cho này cá mồi phò rồi cái cho này cá mồi ai riêng hơn bé khác cô này bằng ai riêng hơn bé ngang con này bằng đi 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 ngày này 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 qua quay cái tang ya nó bằng quẹ đinh 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 ngô làm đi đi cái trang ai riêng ta pa ham bèn này bằng đồ này cái ta cho là mong ai ai phải cái ta cho là mong ai lại cái bằng ya nó bằng quay ai riêng qua quay cái ta cho này bằng quay cái ta tăng mi tăng cái đi chỉ năng ai yang qua cái cô làm này đang mà ba chỉ tôi trong nhà cái cô làm này đang mà đi cô ở bên đang to ba ra đang đó đi 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 em ở đâu hàng qua đó mang tăng là nên kinh càng kinh à đông lên mà đông ngô cô đang để đó hàng hàng này đi 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 đang.
Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to my Huachuma kitchen. This is where I cook my medicine as we speak. So this is Todd. He spent with us some time here. A short time actually. What, 2 weeks?
About 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. And he's leaving tomorrow after tonight's ayahuasca ceremony to wrap up the year. And we'll just talk a few minutes and ask Todd to share about his experience here, staying in Huachuma Wasi and drinking medicine with us.
Sounds great. It's been a really, really wonderful experience. I'm really glad that I made the leap and came here. It's been a good way to wrap up 2021.
Alright, so maybe introduce yourself, like where you're from and what you do, just a little background. Your work with plant medicine before, with psychedelics, just anything you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay. Well, I am from Northern California, and I am a teacher.
Let's look at here.
Yeah.
At the camera.
I'm a teacher. I work with young children, but I have been on a path with plant medicine most of my life. In the last few years, have really taken a deep dive with ayahuasca and using it to learn a lot about myself, to learn about the spirit world, to touch into the currents of magic that surround us. I came to ayahuasca from a very circuitous path where about 20 years ago, while living in Africa, I had an opportunity to sit in an ayahuasca ceremony
In Africa?
In Africa, in South Africa. But it was a shaman came to hold a workshop.
From Peru?
It was Luis Eduardo Luna. I believe he's based out of Brazil. I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure.
but it's not a shaman. This guy is an academic.
He walks the line. He is definitely carries magic.
So he was doing the retreat?
He held the retreat, yeah. And I had an incredible experience in that ceremony. Only sat one time, but the things that I saw, the feelings that I had, the realizations really stuck with me and just rocked me to my core. And then I didn't get a chance to drink medicine again for over 15 years. I was always curious, get online, look at different retreats. And living in California, I would hear whispers of ayahuasca ceremonies, but had never really gotten invited. And then, my wife had a really challenging health journey. She really faced cancer. And first, started a real holistic approach to try to beat it. And when that didn't work, she went the full Western medicine route with surgery and chemotherapy. And it was really traumatic for both of us. But for her, afterwards, she was just really consumed by fear and insomnia. Just fear that the cancer would come back. Not necessarily fear of dying, but just, cancer just strips you away from everything that's important to you. And we were having a conversation in our kitchen one day with a good friend and talking about what she had been going through, and he said, "Have you ever tried ayahuasca?" And he let us know of a group that was gathering, and we both just leapt in with both feet and haven't looked back since. It's been a source of incredible healing, and then just spiritual growth. Just letting us drop into our awareness of the energy that surrounds us, to really appreciate nature, to connect, and it's been really a place for a lot of growth for me personally. Yet I still really struggle with depression and darkness, and I know I live a really blessed life, but these crazy times with the world being the way that it is, it's hard to find those seeds of hope that help you keep moving forward. I can look around, and if I enumerate the things that I do, my wonderful job working with children, playing music, both with my wife and another band, and I have enough food to eat, I live in a beautiful place, yet it's really sometimes very hard to just wake up the next day. And so I knew that I wanted to find something as a reset, something to help me heal my heart. And that's Huachuma really reached out and has been calling to me for a long time. I've been growing Huachuma, but not kind of thinking about drinking it as medicine, but just really connecting with the plant. And then I became aware of what you're doing here a couple of years ago and started just following, listening to all the podcasts that you've done, and I really enjoyed the films that you put together that talk about your path and your perspectives with this medicine, and really I saw the window, I had the opportunity, and I just wanted to take the leap and see what Huachuma would do for me.
So you were my fan for a few years.
Absolutely.
But you didn't read my books.
Didn't read your book. I felt like the films that you have and the messages that you put out in your podcast gave me what I felt was a really good understanding of your path, and it was something that I could really connect to. I think we all in this world are, trying to find something real, connect to real spirit, and plant medicine is one path of that. But I could really sense that with you, and that's why I felt like meeting you would be a really good thing for me.
Good, well, you did. Just followed your intuition. And that's the reason why I do this podcast and films and books, is to share this in words, to create enough, just to convey enough in words so people can feel resonance and that they're ready to become doing medicine. All of this is just here with the medicine, because words is good, but it's not enough to make a change in your life. It's not enough to heal you, it's not enough to change you, you know, you need a different experience. So I use words to bring people to the medicine. You know, that's the only reason. So, what was it for you to stay with us? What was it like to stay with us? Like, when you came, first ceremony, second, and, you know, as we progress into, what, 5 ceremonies, huh?
Yeah, I think I drank 5 times.
Different places. So how was it for you?
Well, the journey to get here was long, was hard. You know, traveling during this time of COVID is tense and fear-filled, with everyone masked and isolated. And, you know, I didn't buy a particularly good flight, so I had to go across the United States to New York, and then down to Lima, then to Cusco. It took me about 2 days to get here, and I was exhausted and spun when I finally got here and walked through the gates. But then I just had an absolute just relaxation coming through the doors, seeing your gardens, seeing Glorious, your dog. That was one draw, seeing pictures of this beautiful German Shepherd. And then I really felt held, you know, when you met me, you encouraged me to eat, to take a shower, to have a short nap, and so that I could wake up and be recharged and ready to go to work in the morning. You know, the first time drinking medicine, we went to the river, and you know, it was powerful. You could feel the flow of energy, and I just used that time to cast my worries, my cares into the river, to let them be washed away. You know, I watched one rock with the water flowing over it and imagined it as my heart being washed and just taking the layers of the hardness away. You know, and then there was time when I felt some darkness. I really felt some big questions about what the hell am I doing here? You know, coming to Peru, and it's just such an expression of my privilege. You know, the fact that I can slap my credit card down and buy a plane ticket and fly halfway across the world to drink this medicine, while there are so many people here that don't have enough. And I was really feeling really dark, and then you came and talked with me for a while, and you know, you reminded me that the darkness that I was feeling was something that I brought with me, and to just try to let it go, and that helped. You know, I kept letting it wash down the river. And then our next ceremony, we went to a beautiful field in the rocks, and you know, it was a place of silence and a place of bird energy, and I was really, you know, I didn't drink a lot of medicine, like 3/4 of a cup, but I could feel the energy pulsing through me, and I really used it as a time for prayer. I prayed to the ancestors, to my ancestors. I prayed to the grandmothers and the women who carry so much. You know, and I expected something different from Huachuma as I had read and thought what it was going to be, and that was another time when you joined me and we talked, and you reminded me that of my intention, that I had come here for healing, and that Huachuma was giving me what I was calling for. You know, I didn't call for a the fireworks and visions, and but that I called for healing and for redirection and
Heart opening.
heart opening. And I really sat with that because I walk that line with plant medicine. I feel, while plant medicines are a wonderful tool for healing, I believe deeply in magic, and I believe deeply in walking in the spirit world, and I want both. I really do. But that's not what I came on this trip for. This trip is for the reset, and so I really enjoyed just being in that field, in that silence, and then when we have these beautiful walks coming back from each place that we go to sit with the medicine, and the walks, you really get to see this beautiful place, the mountains, to connect with the people that we're here drinking with, and each night we come back and enjoy time together by the fire after having a little bit of food, and that's just been really healing in itself, just connecting with other people that are on a similar path. My third ceremony was the first time that I drank a full cup of medicine, and you had said things about what this medicine was capable of at that strength, and as I sat and I was laying back and breathing, and you came and joined me there and shared with me some of the white sage that I brought from home. And the only thing that you said to me on that day was, this is the real Huachuma. Relax. You're safe. And I really felt that. And it really dropped in deeply. And, I felt that I was able to see my spirit, my eternal spirit, my timeless spirit, my spirit that's much more than this human body, that it was ancient, infinite, and it was an incredible glimpse of who I really am. And I spent some time in that place, just breathing and feeling and remembering, and then it shifted for me, because I felt this pull between being spirit and being in this physical body. I felt really limited by my body. I had to pee. I was uncomfortable. And at one point I had a pretty strong purge, and I just was grateful for that purge, letting go of that I don't need, and I was left with this memory that's gonna stick with me, that this glimpse of my spirit self. And then our fourth ceremony, we had another day at the river. We had some new people join with us, and it was a day of just being there. And medicine was very physical with me that day, and physically maybe a little hard. I was squirming around a little bit, but I just kept reminding myself of my intention. Why am I here? I'm here for healing. This medicine is here to work with me. And I really, I didn't find myself in that same place that I was in during my third ceremony, and I missed that. I'm like, did I not drink enough? Did I do something wrong? It's like, no, trust the medicine. And then, my fifth ceremony, he took us to a really special place, Sacred Rock. He reminded me that this was a place of prayer, and I really used it for that, really to ground my experiences here with this medicine, to just, once again, to appreciate the beautiful place, to appreciate the ancients that learned about this medicine and made it available, and I really appreciate you, Sergey. As I watched you pray at the rock, I just was so grateful that you carry this medicine and that you have made this safe place for us to come together to share in it, to explore, to heal. And I just really just appreciate that you're out there in the world.
Well, thank you very much. That's very, very touching words. I feel honored in just following my path, my passion, and my calling. That's it. Yeah. There was nothing more in life that I was wanting to do with so much passion than this. So it's a pleasure, a joy, a path, and an honor all together. And a gratitude. It's a big one. So, well, that sounds very good to hear that you have such a deep connection. And that's, of course, just a tiny bit what you can share in the words. There is so much more happening in ceremony. Just escape, expression. You just can't express that. So, we're still trying to highlight something for people to relate, so they will be encouraged and inspired to have their own experience. But that's a tiny of what actually happened. So, well, just want to say a few words about the situation with your wife's cancer. I lost both of my parents to cancer. It was in 3 years period. They died in the same hospital, in the same room, just 3 years apart, and it was absolutely horrible to watch them both this way. So I have this kind of really personal experience of it, and I know how really scary that is. People are afraid of COVID, but there's just nonsense in comparison to cancer. So I don't wish anyone to go through, and definitely when good people suffer, it's very painful. So I wish your wife to recover completely from this, and I really thank you to bring her to Huachuma. Huachuma is not a cure for cancer, but it's a cure for fear, desperation, depression. We can invigorate her spirit to a point when she will be just shine and bright and strong and this, I believe, can affect the body's ability to fight it. I think they are connected, the spirit and the body. Healthy spirit, healthy body.
Absolutely.
So the invigoration, the spiritual invigoration is important. Not just to fight psychological, mental things, but actual physical diseases, And cancer is not an exception. So medicine is important.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that that she's cancer free. You know, she's been 5 years, very healthy, strong, and but I really, I have to express so much gratitude to plant medicine, because it has been, after saying goodbye to cancer, it has really been the path for healing for both of us.
Yeah, it happens actually often when diseases bring people to the mess, and then people actually expressing gratitude for the diseases, for the new life, which just sounds a bit strange when you are in it, in the face of actually suffering. You would never think that you will be grateful for your depression or your cancer, but often happens that people actually survive, move through, become stronger, and looking back, they just grateful that happened, because otherwise they would not be open to the medicine ever. They would be just blocked by cultural stigma, fears. They would never have an opportunity to experience life in a way as you experience using plant medicine. So it sounds like your wife has that exact gratitude towards the sickness that brought her to a whole new level of experiencing life. I had other people who came with severe depressions and chronic fatigues, like really bad, like you can move around the room, you don't get out of the house. You just born out, young people in their 30s.
Depression's no joke. I mean, like I said, I walk in gratitude every day for the infinite blessings that surround me and all the unknown blessings that are already on their way. Yet, sometimes have a cloud that just makes it hard to hold on to hope.
Yeah.
And so I really, it's my prayer that anyone who has that experience can have the strength to make the leap, to do the things that they need to do to help to open up. Depression is something that it's insidious, and it's it just gets in there, and even when you're surrounded with blessings, it can be a spoiler. And I just have a prayer for anyone who is experiencing that kind of depression to have the strength to make the leap, to find what's going to help to bring them out of that, whether that's plant medicine, whether it's exercise, which, I'm an ultra runner. I run stupid long races, and I found that just inhabiting this body that we have, is one way to help us, ground us, and bring us peace. So, there's lots of ways. It's not just plant medicine, but I think you said something to me on my second ceremony about when we were sitting in the field, about needing to really connect with what makes you happy, and to be really present, to listen to the bird songs, to become the bird, to really to reach out, and so I just hope that anybody that is struggling with depression can find what it's going to take to help them heal. And I do think that Huachuma is a powerful tool that can help. I feel like I've just scraped the surface of what's potential here, and I'm just starting. And I'm really happy that I started on this path.
That's true. Depression can be cured here very quickly, actually. In a matter of weeks, you can get rid of it. With severe depression, chronic. It's depression that already bordering on suicide path, And I actually had people who were suicidal came here already with actually a day of dying. Yeah. One girl was here, she already had paid for assisted suicide.
Oh goodness.
8,000 euros for assisted suicide in Switzerland. It was illegal, only place where it was legal. She had to go 2 years. Like you apply and you wait for 2 years to be approved, you know. And then she got approved, and she paid 8,000 euros. So when she came back to me, she already had she was in the process, you know, waiting. And I told her, why don't you pay me a fraction of it to leave? And she said, why not? What's there to lose? So she came. And in a matter of a few weeks, she definitely awakened to herself and the self that she forgot for many years. And she went back, she canceled her death, she fell in love, and she's happy living now. It's incredible, you know, actually. So there was other people too with severe depression who were already contemplating the way out, you know, and all of them are back into life, living happy with their families, you know, kicking butts, you know, all invigorated, just laughing at how they felt before this, you know. Just like, what? Yeah. So Huachuma definitely have the power. If you do it right, if you really dedicated to it and you bring it to people in the best possible way, in the best setting, or creating the best set for them, it has no limits really in terms of what it can do in terms of healing, spiritual, psychological healing. Physical, it's never my it's not my focus really, although physical healing happens here often because, you know, your spirit gets healed, your body gets healed, so it's kind of a side effect. Your bodily healing is the side effect of the medicine, you know, but it's not the main focus. The main focus here is spiritual connection. That's you know, it was the case for me. I never came here for healing myself, you know, 15 years ago. I was a spiritual seeker, just purely wanted to understand things in life, you know. So, but, you know, things over the years of medicine, I got healing that I didn't even realize I needed. It was different than in many cases, like more personality things, you know, which is, you know, psychological, but it also affect your life, you know, addictions and bad behavior, you know, self-destructive behaviors, and I went through all this. So that was healed, even without looking forward to it, even without even realizing the need for that. You know, so healing happens on many levels here. That's the thing, and each person gets what they need. You know, it might not be exactly the same as what you want, but it will be what you need, and that's at the end of the day is what makes a difference. It's what's important. You know, so you can have ideas, like as you came here to have ideas of having a firework in the sky. You know. That was just an idea, something you read in the trip report somewhere, you know, kind of, oh, I want that. But actually, that's not important. You know, you needed completely different things, which you received.
Yeah.
You know, and the medicine unfolds in time too. When you go back home and it's all unfolding, and you reflect back to it, and you understand more about this, and that's how you integrate this in your life, in your daily life. You're just living your new life from this experience, and things start to change, you know, because you're different, you're more centered, you're more connected, you're more at peace with yourself.
I'm definitely feeling that.
Yeah, and that's a short time you spend here. Usually people come here for a couple of months, you know, 2 months, 3 months, whatever you can afford, you know. But the more time you spend with the medicine, the better, because you just gain more trust, more confidence, and you go deeper. You know? So, well, what would you say to people who would watch this video and who would feel the calling, who would want to come but scared, A, from traveling, and B, from the medicine?
You know, I would just really say that my experience here has been a 100% positive one, that I feel that this is a safe container to explore, that Huachuma is a powerful but gentle medicine, that that it's worth taking the leap if you're feeling called, that you know, saying yes can create real change in your life.
That's very good. Anything else you would like to share? Just a few words from your heart for people who will watch this, or just in general.
You know, I want to express some gratitude to my wife for her compassion and understanding as I felt this calling. You know, I kind of made a selfish decision to come here by myself because I knew that it's what I needed, and it was hard, and I just am grateful that she was able to listen with her heart and to accept, and I hope that the healing that I found here I'll be able to carry home, and I hope to return. I hope to bring her back and have her share in this medicine and in this beautiful place. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you know, as much healing as I've gotten from the medicine itself, I think I've gotten a lot of healing from the just being here in these mountains and feeling this ancient energy. You know, some condor perspective to take home. So, thank you.
You're very welcome. It was good having you here. And it was good to see you change in a short amount of time. Kind of melt from the personality into essence, into soul. That's the process where we come with ideas and then we leave with a real vision. You know, ideas about ourselves, like self-projection kind of thing. And then we live with a sense of who we are, with the actual feeling of who we are. That's the work we then focus on. So, well, thank you very much for being here, for having this interview. And good luck with your life, and as you said, carry the medicine with you, because that's what you do. You know, the experience stays hidden, but the connection goes with you, it travels. You know, and it will be easy for you to recall it at any time. You know, when life gets tough, you just recall the beautiful, peaceful, bright space within yourself, where your soul can rest. And by that, you provide shelter to others as well. You know, as we're moving into 2022. Which I think will be a pretty crazy year. So the more medicine you can have, the better. The more connection, the better. The more strength, the better. So, alright, well, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sergey. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all the best.
Đi đi ba ba di tôi gió lá cá và hai con bồi